Assemblymember Tony Thurmond, who is another tremendous champion for children here in the state of California. Throughout his career as a nonprofit leader, a school board member, a social worker, a city council member, he's done practically every job there is. He continues a relentless dedication for children in the Assembly. And as chair of the Budget Subcommittee on Health and Human Services, Assemblymember Thurmond has been a strong champion for ensuring we are making the essential investments in our children and in our families. Ladies and gentlemen, Assemblymember Tony Thurmond.
Thank you. In our lives. You know, as an Assembly member who represents Richmond and Berkeley and parts of Oakland with Assemblymember Bonta, and who's nearby to the Bay Area with Assemblymember Campos, we talk all the time about the lack of affordable housing in high-cost areas. And so for that reason, we're all working together as part of a work group to really look at ways to put some immediate money into supporting housing and programs for the homeless. Yesterday we held a hearing to address the issues of homelessness for our kids. You know, last year in our subcommittee we expanded a program called Support to Home for homeless youth and families. We also have been working to expand transitional housing programs for foster youth, probation youth, and youth who've been sexually exploited. And these are priorities that we'll make from a budget standpoint this year. We're also looking at things to do to make sure that kids can be fed when they're hungry. I've introduced a bill to support the summer EBT program, which is the way that the state can match what the federal government does to make sure that kids get a good meal during the summer. I also have a tax bill, a tax credit bill, that would provide a tax credit for any entity that provides a donation of prepared food, either to the local shelter or to other places where hungry families can get access to food. So there are many things that we want to work on this year. We want to work closely with the Children's Defense Fund. We know that they've been, stalwarts in this effort. Everything from, moving the prison pipeline to a freedom school, which I've had a chance to participate in as a volunteer and drop everything and read day. We want to continue to be a partner with the Children's Defense Fund. I want to thank you too for supporting two bills that we have this year that are now two-year bills. We introduced them last year. They address issues that affect our children deeply. AB 1014, which addresses chronic absenteeism of our youngest kids, kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. Kids who miss more than 10% of school. And we know that this means that those children, unfortunately, are more likely to drop out because they didn't learn to read by third grade. They're more likely to end up in a criminal justice system. We'd rather educate those kids than incarcerate those kids. And that's why AB 1014 gives needed dollars directly to school districts to do outreach, to work with families who are homeless, to work with families